Hello class. This video will show you how to do the first problems of this worksheet. We're going to actually work on two of them. The first one I highlighted right here in pink, and I wrote it up here on the board. Now, the first thing you should do, what I did already, is I put a dashed line right here where the arrow is at, because this arrow tells me that these are my ingredients. Okay, we call these the reactants. And this is what we get after the chemical reaction. These are the products. So you can think of it as if you're cooking, these are the ingredients, then you pop it in the oven, and this is what you get at the end. Okay? Once we do that, now it's time to take inventory of what elements we have, because we have to count them all. Now, what I'm going to be looking for is the capital letter. Okay? So right here we have capital A, lowercase g. Okay, that's silver. So I'm going to write here, AG. I'll put an equal sign because we're going to put a number. We're going to start counting how many AGs or how many silvers we have. Then we have here capital I, and just I by itself. So I'm going to put an I, and I'm going to put an equal sign. And then we have Na, that's sodium. Notice that the N is capital, but the A is lowercase. That means that they go together. So Na, which is sodium, it's right here. And then we have capital S for sulfur. Now you may have noticed that the Na has a 2 right here. Okay, that's called a subscript. I did not include that in there because we're not going to put any numbers for now. We're just putting the elements and then we're going to count them. This number will pop up later. But for now, I just copied the Na. Now, whatever I wrote on this side, I'm going to copy this over here. So I have Ag on top. I'm going to put Ag. Then I have I. And I have Na, and I have S. Okay? Copied it in the same order. And the reason why I copied in the same order is because here it shows up in a different order. Notice that Ag shows up first, and then S. Now, I could have written it this way. I could put Ag, then S, then Na, then I, but then these won't match. So it sets me up for failure because when I'm comparing silver with silver, what if these aren't the same ones and I'm busy looking at the number without realizing that this one is I and this one was S, for example. So when I take inventory, whenever I write something here, I copy the exact same order. Okay, now we're going to put a number in each and every box because we're trying to figure out how much of the ingredients we need. So I'm going to put the lowest number, which is 1. Okay, don't put 0. Because 0, that doesn't make sense. When have you ever seen a recipe that had 0 for one of the ingredients? Okay. Also, we're not going to put fractions or decimals or a half number. It's always whole numbers. So let's count what we have. We have here 1 Ag, so I'm going to put the number 1. By the way, I'm using an erasable marker. I suggest that you use something that could erase, okay, like a pencil. If you're going to use ink, make sure to have plenty of whiteout because part of this is going back and forth and doing a lot of erasing. So get ready for erasing. 1 Ag. Now we have here 1 Na2. So there's Na2 means there's 2 sodium. 1 times 2 means I have 2 sodium. Oops, I kind of skipped this one. I forgot there's an I right here. 1I, so 1I. And then 1S. Sorry about that. I kind of skipped around. Let me double check. 1 Ag, 1 Ag. 1 I, 1 I. 1 times 2, because this is Na2, so we have 2 sodium, and 1 sulfur. Okay. See? Caught my mistake right there. Now let's go this side. You got to be careful because I think this is not really hard. It's easy to make mistakes. All right, so now we have 1 Ag2. So it's 2 silvers. So I'm going to put 2 for the Ag. Then 1 times S would be 1. Notice that my S is down here. Okay? So just always when you put the number, make sure you're putting it for the right element. Let's go over here. 1 Na, that's simple. 1 sodium. And 1 I, 1. Okay? Well, they don't match. The only one that matches is I. We have 1 iodine, 1 iodine. 2 silver over here, 1 silver. 2 sodium over here, 1. And you know what? No, sulfur does match. So I was wrong. The I's and the S's match. Now, the thing about these numbers is I cannot make this number go down. Okay, once you have 2, that's it. You can only go higher. It's like when you're making, if you're baking. If you add too much eggs to the cake batter, it's too late. You messed up. You added too many eggs. You better start adding more of other ingredients to kind of balance it out. So I cannot bring this number down, but I can add more ingredients here and bring this number up. So let's change the AG. This box has AG. So I'm going to take out the 1 and put the next number higher, which is a 2. But notice what happens. It's going to change the AG and the I. So I need to erase this right here. So now we have 2 AG, and now we have 2 I's. So good news, bad news. The AGs match, but the I's don't. That's fine. Let's go back over here now. So let's make the I's match. We have 1 I here, 1 iodine. This side has 2. So let's change the iodine. We can't change this one. There's no I. The I is over here. So I'm going to take this 1, put it into a 2. So now we're going to change it. But now look, we changed the Na. Now there's 2 Na, 2 Na, and now there's 2 I's. Okay. Oh, we're done. Look at this. Ag, there's 2. Ag, there's 2. There's 2 iodines on the left. We end up with 2 iodines on the right. We have 2 sodium on the left, 2 sodium on the right. 1 sulfur, 1 sulfur. That's your answer right there. Okay? The equation is now perfectly balanced.